Welcome on into a Cleveland Browns mailbag. I'm going to answer the questions that our viewers asked during our live show, which aired on Tuesday. Dr. Brown leading things off here. Should the Browns worry about losing Jim Schwartz this season? Yes or no? Oof. Fair question and a fair point to raise right now. What I'd say is this. Not very often do you see NFL defensive coaches get a second chance at head coaching, right? Leslie Frazier kind of got some buzz in Buffalo the last couple of years, but no one ultimately hired him. Look at the teams that could be hiring coaches soon. A lot of them are firing potentially defensive coaches, right? Like the Bears, Matt Eberflus, defensive coach. They'll probably want to go an offensive direction. So those things allow me to sleep a little bit easier at night, believing there's probably not going to be a team out there that wants a near 60-year-old Jim Schwartz defensive-minded coach. And if I'm Jim Schwartz, sure, if you can get another opportunity to head coach again, that'd be awesome. I doubt he'd pass on it. But we have seen a lot of defensive coordinators content with staying put. Like Leslie Frazier, like I mentioned in Buffalo, comes to mind as someone's like, you know what? I've got a good thing going here. This defense is awesome. I'm doing the best job as a coach in my entire coaching career. Why kind of risk it all for a really, really bad team? So should Browns fans be worried? I don't think they should be worried as fans of other teams are going to make you believe. They're just trying to get your goat. Joshua Miller, next one up. Jim Schwartz was our best defensive signing. Guys, go back to a video I put out in, I want to say August, maybe July, end of July, where I did power rankings 1 through 10 of the best offseason moves the Browns made. Number 1 was Jim Schwartz. I mean, somewhere Joe Woods is cursing to himself every drive home from work going, I had pretty much all those guys. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and I had Denzel Ward sitting in zone every single play, and I had an awesome defense filled with talent, and I lost it. So yeah, Jim Schwartz has been incredible, Josh. Great point. So in fact, let's show Jim Schwartz some love right now. Thank you, producer Trace, for whipping this up really quickly. Like the video right now. I don't know if Jim Schwartz is an online guy, but if he happens to stumble across this video, maybe someone sends it to him, I'd love for him to see the dog pound, showing him some love, and maybe that's enough for him in January to go, yeah, screw the Bears job. How about I stay in Cleveland and help this team win another Super Bowl? Potentially. Nick H with $1 super chat. Nick, thank you very much for supporting the show. Go Brownies. All right, next question coming up is from Tyrone. Tyrone, I don't want to be that guy, and this might be a dumb idea. I can't wait to see where this sentence goes. But because of our history, trade for Juju Smith-Schuster? No. I do not think Juju Smith-Schuster is a good football player. 2 takes that I had that at the time were wildly unpopular that now are pretty good takes was I was out on Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster back in like 2019, 2020-ish. Not interested in Juju. I just don't think he's a good player. He was the number 1 wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes, and he put up like 750 yards. Pass. Grant, next one up on the show. Should the Browns trade for a running back? Remember when Andrew Berry spoke to the media before the bye? It's like, you guys all think the bye is like tomorrow. I don't think the bye is anytime soon. This past Sunday is what he was talking about. There are still, at the time when he said that, 3 more games to be played before the NFL trade deadline. The Browns are going to wait and see how their running back room looks after all 3 of those games. And after the 49ers game, when Hunt and Ford rushed for a combined 130 yards, I doubt they're dying to trade for a running back. Maybe they sign a running back. I mean, as I'm filming this on Tuesday, the Rams added Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson. The Packers, added James Robinson. So maybe Leonard Fournette could get signed if they're not sure about their running back room, but I don't think they're going to be giving up assets to go trade for a running back. Mike Dibble, what's going on, Mike? Could you see us trading DPJ and some draft picks for Jeudy? I think if the Browns were to win a few more games, if they knock off the Colts, maybe they, let's just say at worst, because I don't think they're going to go 0-2 the next stretch here. At worst, 1-1. I mean, that would have them at 4-3, right? And that would probably be in a spot where Andrew Berry feels even more pressure to like go all in because they're right there on the cusp of putting together something great. But if they go 2-0 this next stretch and they go from 3-2 to 5-2, man, maybe Barry feels like we got a good thing here and we don't want to switch up a key part of our offense and really bring in some new blood. So could I see the Browns doing it? Yes. It's Andrew Barry. Never put it past him. Do I think they're going to trade DPJ and picks for Jeudy? At this moment, I don't. Mark Stevenson, what's up with the pregame extracurriculars? Like the San Francisco game and the Dallas Chargers game. According to PJ Walker, Nick Bosa was saying personal things before the game. I think, Mark, this is a good reminder to NFL fans that there is a lot said between players to players and even players to officials that we never hear about. And you get little snippets of it when every once in a while a player speaks to the media and they're like, what happened? And they're like, well, we're going to keep it on the field, right? There is a code amongst players of like, what's said on the field stays on the field. But what's going on? I don't know. I think what we have is a very weird football year, like college to NFL, but specifically NFL here, where no one really wants to assert themselves as the best team in football. So everyone just feels like it's wide open. So they're like, why not us mentality? And let's go out there and stir the pot a little bit and amp ourselves up. That's my best guess, Mark. I'm not quite sure. Lil Beam, next one up. Do you think PJ Walker should be the backup for the rest of the season and Jaelon Darden be our new return man? Let's say Deshaun Watson comes back and he is healthy the rest of the way. One, PJ Walker's still on the practice squad. I should start with that. He was called up, but he was not added to the 53-man roster. If they want to add him to the 53-man roster, then they got to take someone off the 53-man roster. They got that one DB, Khalifa, something like that, they got from the Chiefs right after the roster cutdown day. He's probably the 53rd guy on the roster. But if Watson comes back and he's healthy, I doubt they want to burn a roster spot on a third quarterback where they could just keep him on the practice squad the rest of the way. As for Jaelon Darden being the new return man, yeah, let's not have DPJ do that anymore. It's just not really a good fit. I'd rather have at least someone who's somewhat specialized in return responsibilities do that job. Before we get to the rest of our questions, our sportsbook partner, BetUS, has an awesome deal for the Dog Pound. You guys know about it already. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Browns125 will unlock a 125% deposit bonus. Now, I just want to hear from everyone right now. What are your college football or NFL weekend locks? Look ahead for a moment, pause the video, take 2 minutes, and find me a lock and comment it below. And I'm going to ride with you over on BetUS, and we can get rich together. So chatsports.com/bet, promo code Browns125. $5 super chat from Nick H. I hear the Giants are in fire sale mode. Should we give a third for Saquon Barkley? My fear at this is you get Saquon Barkley, and 3 weeks later, he's going to have an injured ankle. So, yeah, Saquon Barkley is an awesome talent, and when he's healthy, he's great. But the fact that he started the year off with an injury that is likely to kind of return again in a high ankle sprain, that does not seem like a good idea of a trade target, right? If he was healthy and you could actually get him for a third, yeah, you'd be crazy not to. If you could have Saquon over Ford and Hunt for just a third-round pick, I would do that. But that high ankle sprain's probably going to linger for the rest of the season, so that definitely scares me. David Botner, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, fellas. I'm just a realist who doesn't live in La La Land fandom. Stefanski, oh, damn. I had a feeling that's where this was going. David, we're filming, for everyone watching right now, we're filming on Tuesday, so it's a little bit different on Tuesday compared to a few days later. Listen, you don't have to love Stefanski, but just don't be a negative Nancy after wins. We're Cleveland Browns fans. We don't get Victory Monday very often. Enjoy it. Please. David Washington. Why do you think Alex Van Pelt isn't given an opportunity to call a game since he's the offensive coordinator? I mean, Stefanski was the play caller in Minnesota. Was he the play caller in Minnesota? I can't remember. I think maybe 1 year. I don't remember for sure. Regardless, he wants to call plays. Calling plays is like the coolest thing in the NFL. That's the whole point of going to the NFL, I think, is to call plays. We do playing Madden our whole lives growing up. So I don't blame Stefanski for not wanting to give up the coolest job in the world, which is calling plays for an offense. We all want to call plays, right? So why is AVP not given that shot? Because Kevin Stefanski wants to call plays. Joshua Miller, who deserves the next extension? Great question, Josh. Good one to end on. Grant Delpit, JOK, or Dustin Hopkins? Can I throw a question to you? Would you rather have Dustin Hopkins or DeAndre Hopkins right now? But I think Grant Delpit is the answer to this question. JOK through 3 years has, unfortunately gotten injured every single season. Knock on wood, that does not continue. Whereas Grant Delpit, after the Achilles injury, has been reliable and available every step of the way. He looks like someone who could absolutely be a Pro Bowl safety. And linebackers are just not the same value that they used to have in the NFL. JOK is a bit of a different breed. It looks like he kind of put on some weight, and he's still as fast as a safety, but as strong as a linebacker. But I think Grant Delpit and Denzel Ward would be an incredible lockdown duo to have in terms of the leader of your safeties and the leader of your corners for the next 4 seasons or so. So I would take a Grant Delpit extension over those 3 guys. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate people taking time out of their day to come hang out with us here. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, type me in the chat. It's always good to see who watches all the way through.